Hey guys, and welcome to Should You Buy It, where all we do is talk a little bit about the game and whether or not we think it's worth the cost.
We have enemies to put down. We're on final approach. Lock and load.
In this episode, we'll be playing Elite Dangerous Odyssey, the newest DLC in the Elite universe where you will be able to carry out on-foot missions, exploration, and combat.
So the first question that we always cover in these videos is what stage of development is the game in? And in this case, Elite Dangerous Odyssey is a DLC that is technically in full release and available on PC as well as most consoles for $40. Another thing we want to mention here is that we are only going to be going over the contents presented in Elite Dangerous Odyssey, as we've already made a review on Elite Dangerous, which can be found in the description below.
So what exactly does Odyssey bring to Elite Dangerous? Well, the main thing that the new DLC offers is the ability to leave your ship and explore stations and planets on foot.
The main way that the game incorporates the on-foot experience would be through the settlement missions. These missions are picked up within any space station and can be anything from eradicating a group of bandits at a compound to simply turning the power back on at a mining facility. Some missions are fairly straightforward while others are illegal. This will require you to sneak around guards and avoid being detected in order to complete them. The missions will reward you with credits, reputation, or components upon completion and delivery.
Although Odyssey missions can be done with other commanders, you are currently unable to share and complete missions with a friend. This results in one person basically just tagging along for the ride and receiving no rewards. You do, however, have a chance of encountering another commander with the same mission as you in open play mode. Be prepared for a fight to the death, as most of the time, other players will just try to kill you the minute that they see you. This game is very unforgivable though, so do your best to stay alive, because if you do die before turning the quest in, you will fail it and have wasted your time.
Luckily, in order to save time, Odyssey has introduced an interstellar taxi system that basically autopilots you anywhere that you want to go. All you need to do is select a drop-off location and a shuttle will take you there. This would be a great time for you to, go take a nap and come back when you've reached your destination, just like I do.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy the journey. Just so you know, we'll be arriving shortly.
They will even come and get you if you're stranded on a planet, so this basically means that you do not even need to own a ship in order to do most of the new content.
So the first thing you will need to familiarize yourself with when embarking on these missions is your suit, as it not only keeps you alive, but houses the many tools you will be using on your journeys. The way this works is that your suit contains a certain amount of power used to power your tools and allow you to carry out certain tasks. There are different types of suits that specialize in different areas, such as combat or base infiltration. An example of an infiltration suit would be the Maverick, as it has a built-in art cutter used to cut open doors, which would be locked and inaccessible to you otherwise. A combat-oriented suit would be the Dominator, as it gives you extra armor, as well as 3 weapon slots.
Aside from your suit, you will also have plenty of weapons to choose from. There are primary and secondary weapons, as well as different damage types for each one. Some examples of these would be that laser weapons do extra damage to shields, while kinetic ones will do better against an opponent without any. Weapons and suits can also be upgraded at any space station with credits and the required materials. Now, the way that you're going to be finding these materials will mostly be through scavenging settlements during your ground missions. This creates a sense of progression where you need to actually do missions in order to upgrade your equipment so that you can complete more difficult ones.
Now, what if you don't want to do missions anymore? Well, the game does offer a sort of PvPvE mode where you are able to join the front lines and fight for a faction of your choosing. You can sign up for these matches at a space station, and a taxi will once again fly you to the battlefield. Once you arrive, you will take part in a domination-style game mode between both players and AI, where you must capture points while defeating the enemy team in order to take control of the area. This is a good way to build reputation with factions, but it definitely wasn't the main part of the DLC.
Odyssey does also offer some additions to the exploration. Along with being able to land on atmospheric planets, players are also able to scan new life forms and plant species in order to sell the discovery data for credits.
So now it's time for the pros and cons section of the video. First up for the pros is that Odyssey does present tons of new things to do and ways to make money in the game. This includes everything from doing PvP battles to being a space repairman reporting for duty. There's enough here to essentially play Odyssey as a standalone game and not even have to pilot a ship if you don't want to.
Now for the cons. First up for the cons is that the game is almost unplayable on any PC not made in the last 3 years. Just to give you an example, there are plenty of people running on 1080 Ti's that were having frequent FPS issues. Next up for the cons is the instancing issues, as playing with friends in co-op is almost impossible. If me and a friend decided to go to the same place and made sure we were there at the exact same spot, we were still unable to find one another. Next up is that the game is littered with minor as well as major bugs that can halt gameplay entirely at times. This includes everything from something like a tool not working to disconnecting mid-taxi, which can result in you losing all of your progress on a mission. And honestly, with the amount of bugs present here, it feels like more of a glorified beta rather than actually being a full release game. Finally, for the cons is that the on-foot combat is not that enjoyable when you're fighting against AI. This is because the player's weapons feel weak and seem to do almost no damage. On top of that, the AI will mindlessly stand still and just shoot in your general direction whenever they have you in their line of sight. Just to make things even worse, their guns seem to do way more damage than yours even come close to.
So now it's time for the rating for the game, and when we rate games, we want to get 1 hour of enjoyment out of every $1 that we spent on the game. So for this game in particular, in Elite Dangerous Odyssey, we would want to get roughly 40 hours of enjoyment out of the $40 that we spent. And after putting a ridiculous amount of hours into this DLC, we give it 3 out of 10 potatoes.
Yeah, Elite Dangerous Odyssey was a bit disappointing in its current state. The DLC had a good concept going for it, but the execution and delivery of the game was quite frankly horrendous. Even though there is new content and a whole new system of on-foot gameplay, it just feels like the devs forgot to make the content fun, and instead, the devs just presented us with a new way to grind. If the game actually worked, it was better optimized, more balanced, and actually fun and innovative, we could have seen this game being a 6 or maybe even a 7. However, in its current state, we would tell you to probably wait on it and take a second look at this game in a year or so to see if the game has fixed some of the problems it's currently suffering from. Therefore, we feel that it is safe to say that Elite Dangerous Odyssey is more than likely not worth the cost.
Now, if you guys want more money-saving content, consider subscribing to our channel, where we release new videos every single week, where we spend the money so you don't have to. Make sure you guys smash that like button, and as always, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.